Hey there, science fans. Welcome to Ideogenesis Lab. I've got something mind-blowing to share with you today. Did you know that your body is actually glowing right now? Yeah, you heard that right. We're all walking around like human fireflies. But here's the kicker. We can't see it with our naked eyes. It's a phenomenon called human bioluminescence, and it's absolutely fascinating. So, let's get into this incredible secret our bodies have been keeping from us. Now you might be thinking, if I'm glowing, why can't I see it? Well, that's a great question. The light our bodies emit is about 1,000 times weaker than what our eyes can detect. It's like trying to see a single candle from miles away. It's just too faint for us to perceive. But here's the cool part. With the right equipment, we can actually measure this glow. Scientists have used something called photomultiplier tubes, which are super-sensitive light detectors, to pick up on this faint emission. These devices can detect light that's about 1 billion times fainter than what we can see with our eyes. It's like having superhuman vision, but for scientific instruments? Pretty amazing, right? Before we go deeper into human bioluminescence, let's talk about where else we see this amazing phenomenon in nature. You've probably seen fireflies lighting up a summer night, or maybe you've been lucky enough to witness the magical glow of bioluminescent plankton in the ocean. These creatures produce light as a way to communicate, attract mates, or even confuse predators. But it's not just the creatures we typically think of. There are glowing mushrooms in the forest, tiny, glowing crustaceans in the deep sea, and even some types of bacteria that can light up. Nature has figured out how to harness light in so many incredible ways, and we're just scratching the surface of understanding it all. All right, let's break this down. At its core, bioluminescence is a chemical reaction. It involves a light-emitting molecule called a luciferin and an enzyme called luciferase. When these two get together, with a little help from oxygen, they create a chemical reaction that releases energy in the form of light. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. Different organisms have different types of luciferins and luciferases, which is why we see different colors of bioluminescence in nature. Some glow blue, others green, and some even produce red light. It's like nature's own color palette, but instead of paint, it's using chemical reactions. How cool is that? Now let's zoom in on our own bodies. The light we emit isn't coming from a specific organ or gland. Instead, it's happening at the cellular level, all over our bodies. Every cell in your body is like a tiny biochemical factory, constantly carrying out reactions to keep you alive and functioning. And some of these reactions produce a tiny bit of light as a byproduct. One of the main sources of this light is believed to be from molecules called free radicals. These are unstable molecules that are produced during normal metabolic processes. When free radicals interact with other molecules in your cells, they can sometimes release a photon, a tiny particle of light. It's like each cell in your body is occasionally setting off a microscopic firework. Pretty mind-blowing when you think about it, right? Here's something really cool. The amount of light our bodies emit actually changes throughout the day. Scientists have found that our glow follows a 24-hour cycle, just like our sleep-wake cycle. We emit the most light in the late afternoon and the least in the early morning. This suggests that our bioluminescence is closely tied to our metabolism and circadian rhythms. But that's not all. The light emission isn't uniform across our bodies. Our faces actually glow more than other parts. And get this, the light emission from our faces drops when we're asleep. It's like our faces are dimming their lights for bedtime. Isn't that just mind-blowing? Our bodies are doing this complex light show, and we never even knew about it. Now that we've talked about our own subtle glow, let's look at some of nature's brightest stars. Fireflies are probably the most familiar example of bioluminescence. These little beetles use their light to attract mates. But if you really want to see a light show, you need to look to the oceans. In the deep sea, where sunlight never reaches, bioluminescence is everywhere. There are fish with glowing lures to attract prey, jellyfish that light up when disturbed, and tiny plankton that create trails of light in the water. Some deep-sea creatures can even use counter-illumination. They have light-producing organs on their undersides that match the faint light from above, making them virtually invisible to predators below. Nature is just full of incredible adaptations. Now you might be wondering, Okay, this is all really cool, but does our glow actually mean anything for our health? Well, as it turns out, it might. Some researchers believe that changes in our bioluminescence could potentially be used as a way to monitor our health. Since the light is linked to our metabolic processes, changes in the intensity or pattern of the glow might indicate changes in our overall health. It's like our bodies are giving off subtle signals that we're just now learning to read. The potential medical applications of bioluminescence are really exciting. Scientists are already using bioluminescent proteins in research to track cellular processes and test new drugs. In the future, we might see bioluminescent markers used to detect tumors or monitor the progression of diseases. Imagine a world where doctors could diagnose certain conditions just by looking at the pattern of your body's glow. It's like giving our bodies a whole new way to communicate with us. As we continue to study bioluminescence, both in humans and in nature, who knows what we might discover? We could develop new medical diagnostic tools, create more efficient light sources, or even figure out how to enhance our own natural glow. The possibilities are as vast as the glowing ocean on a moonless night. It's an exciting time to be exploring this field, and I can't wait to see what we'll uncover next. So there you have it, folks. Your body is glowing right now, even if you can't see it. It's a reminder of just how amazing and complex our bodies are, and how much we still have to learn about ourselves and the world around us. Next time you're in a dark room, just remember, you're not just standing there, you're putting on a light show. If you found this as fascinating as I do, leave a comment below with your thoughts. And hey, if you want to learn more about the wonders of the human body, check out my video on how your brain processes visual information. Until next time, keep glowing and stay curious.